let's start with those. Now, what is your problem? Hello homemakers, I'm Melinda and I'm cooking my way through Betty Crocker's 1971 recipe card library. And today we're making Bambinos. Alright, Bambinos are from section G, come for coffee, and it's card number 25. And Bambino means children in Italian, and we're basically making mini pizzas today. Baby pizzas, child pizzas, and pizzas are Italian, so I guess I'm trying to like connect the dots in Betty Crocker's brain as to why these are called Bambinos. I've never heard of this before, but we're basically making little bite-sized pizzas. And it's pretty simple. We're just gonna make a pastry dough, cut it into little circles, top it with pizza toppings, sauce, cheese, pepperoni, and bake them for a little bit, and then we'll have a little pizza bite. I'm a huge fan of the snack pizza genre. We love a bagel bite, we love a pizza roll, so we're gonna see how this Bambinos stacks up against my other favorite pizza snacks. Alright, to make Bambinos, we will need the ingredients to make the pastry rounds, which is basically just flour, water, salt, and shortening. And then to top the pastry rounds, we'll need tomato paste, garlic salt. I'm gonna use garlic powder and regular salt, oregano, pepperoni, and some mozzarella cheese. Alright, so the first step is to make the pastry rounds. So we are going to measure 2 cups of golden flour. I have to do it the right way. I simply cannot do it not the Betty Crocker way. So I'm spooning in the flour. We're spooning. So this is 1 teaspoon of salt. Then we need 2/3 of a cup plus 2 tablespoons of shortening. Okay, so that's 1/3. And then 2 tablespoons. That's like, I'm using like half this container. Nasty. Okay. So now we're gonna take this thing that makes the stuff go through the thing, and we're using this device to cut the shortening into the flour, which just means we're breaking up the shortening into really tiny balls that are kind of spread throughout the flour. Sprinkle in 1/4 cup of water, 1 tablespoon at a time, mixing until all flour is moistened and dough almost cleans the side of bowl. Okay. Now I'm not going to repeat what happened with sombrero pie, which is that she tells me to be loosey-goosey with the water, 1 tablespoon at a time until it looks done. And I didn't put enough water in. So this time, I'm trying to be more careful. Because this is the other thing that happens, is I tend to use a lot of dough on my board while I'm rolling it out. Or dough. I tend to use a lot of flour on my board when I'm rolling it out, and that adds to the dryness. So you'd rather have like more wet dough now that picks up more flour later. Okay, I feel better about that. It's a little wet, but I think that's okay. I'm trying to make up for the sins of my past. I never learned my lessons. Okay. Gather dough into a ball. And then shape into 2 flattened rounds on a lightly floured cloth board. Roll dough cut into 2-inch circles. Okay. So let's get cleaned up, and then we'll roll this out and cut it. All right, so she has some suggestions that I'm not gonna follow. She says, shape into 2 flattened rounds on a lightly floured cloth-covered board with a floured stockinette covered rolling pin. Roll dough to 3/16 inch thick. I don't have a stockinette. I don't want to cover this board with cloth. We're just gonna see what we could do. I know it's probably because it's gonna stick, but we're just gonna see what happens. say that's 3/16. Do I know for sure? No. But I have a 2-inch round cutter. And now we're gonna cut 2-inch circles and place them on this aluminum foil covered baking sheet per Betty's instructions. Let's see how many we could fit in here. I'm supposed to make 5 dozen of these, huh? There we go. We're making pastry rounds. I wonder, are they gonna get bigger or are they gonna shrink? Can I put 5 in a row like that? I don't know. Okay, let's keep making rounds and I'll be back. All right, so I ended up making, I believe, 4 dozen of the pastry rounds, and it says we just have to prick them 2 or 3 times. So I'm just kind of going on with a fork. Some of them you can see I kind of cobbled together from like, the second round, like you cut all the holes and then you smush the pastry together and then you cut more holes. And that second smush round is not as good as the first round, but I think they'll still be fine. Okay. So these are gonna bake 8 to 10 minutes at 475, and then once they come out and they cool, we'll top them and then pop them back in for a few more minutes. Are you ready for some pizza snack history? Both of these brands are kind of iconic to my childhood. I just remember there were so many commercials in the 90s and 2000s, both for the Bagel Bites and the pizza rolls. I remember there was this like jingle for the Bagel Bites. It was like, pizza in the morning, pizza in the evening, pizza at supper time. I'm a bad singer, so we should roll the tape.
You can give them pizza whenever they want. Pizza in the morning, pizza in the evening, pizza at supper time. When pizza's on a bagel, you can eat pizza anytime. Pizza Bagel Bites. Bite-sized pizzas on wholesome little bagel.
But I love them both. I think I enjoy pizza rolls better if I had to choose. I'm excited to see how these two stack up against our homemade pizza snacks. I just thought the history of both of these was like kind of fascinating. Pizza bagels started appearing in bagel shops in the like 70s, and there's a lot of feuding over like which bagel shop invented the pizza bagel, but I'm talking about full-size bagels. It wasn't until 1985 that the mini pizza bagel, aka Bagel Bites, was invented. 2 tennis partners, Bob Moisher and Stanley Garzinski, were kind of chatting one day. Bob was a caterer and Stanley was a former high school teacher and now a salesman. And at Bob's catering company, he was making these bite-sized pizza bagels. And they thought that they could kind of come up with their own brand and market them and sell them as a prepackaged food. And 1985 was like, a big time. It was like the perfect storm because mini bite-sized foods were very much in vogue. And it was also a time when those kind of big box stores like Costco and Sam's Club and Walmart were opening up all over the country, and people were buying more frozen food in bulk. And so it was the perfect storm for their invention, the Bagel Bite. They designed the packaging themselves and it became a hit. Eventually they sold Bagel Bites to Heinz, who then eventually bought Ore-Ida, and Ore-Ida now makes Bagel Bites for us. Pizza rolls also have a fascinating history. They were invented by a man named Gino Paolucci. He was like this crazy businessman entrepreneur who owned like over 70 businesses during his lifetime. One of his first empires was actually for Chinese food, like canned and frozen Chinese food. He, as an Italian, found Chinese food bland, and so he added Italian seasonings to Chinese food and sold it himself. And it was successful, I guess. But he also had an Italian food brand called Gino's where he made like frozen garlic bread and frozen lasagna. And one day in the late 60s, he had an epiphany. He had an egg roll machine where he made frozen egg rolls, and he thought, what if I used the egg roll machine but put pizza ingredients in the egg roll? And that's how pizza rolls were born. Eventually in the 80s, he sold Gino's pizza brand to Pillsbury, and Pillsbury also owned Totino's Pizza, and then that's why they rebranded to Totino's Pizza Rolls. All right, our pastry rounds are out of the oven and ready to assemble. They like, I don't know, they're just kind of like little crackers, I guess. We'll see how they taste. They're like dense little cracker cookie things. So first we have to make the sauce. I was kind of surprised that we're using tomato paste and not tomato sauce. This just feels very intense in flavor and thick. Maybe the thickness is what we want, but I thought that was interesting. To just be able to take a bite of tomato paste seems stupid, but we're doing the full 6-ounce jar. And then 1 teaspoon of garlic salt. So instead what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a 1/2 teaspoon of regular salt. And then a 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder. And together that makes garlic salt, right? And then, don't come at me if it doesn't. I've been playing this game with all of the salts required because I'm not buying salt when I already get powdered. Anyway, I digress. Now we're gonna do a 1/4 teaspoon of oregano, which I might also like kind of do a little oregano on top of them as well. I can see that they're doing that in the photo. It's starting to smell like pizza in here. And that's maybe in part because of the pizza rolls in the oven. But I feel like this is giving me pizza as well. I'm just mixing it. Spoon small amount onto each pastry round. Top with meat, sprinkle with cheese. Okay. So I guess I'm just gonna do that. Let's start with those. Now, what is your problem? Now we're gonna take a pepperoni, which these pastry rounds are perfectly sized to hold a pepperoni. Now, put a little cheese on each. I understand that this is the order. Well, shouldn't you put cheese on before you put the pepperoni on? Shouldn't the pepperoni be on top? But I guess you want the cheese to melt. Okay. Then I'm gonna do a little bit more oregano on top. Okay, that's the process. So I'll finish these and then they're gonna go in the oven for 5 minutes. Okay, they've been in the oven for 5 minutes. Look at them. Oh, they look good and they smell good. I'm excited to taste them. So let's get a few of them on a plate. Oh my God, it looks so good. Maybe it's just because I'm hungry. I haven't had lunch yet. I've been waiting for these pizza snacks. They almost feel like little works of art, you know? Like everyone is like unique. All right, let's get this taste test started. Start with the taste test. I'm so excited. Okay, obviously I have to start the Betty Crocker one. Ooh, so cute. Okay, that was incredible. Oh my God, it was so good. Oh, the pastry round is just like flaky. It kind of melts in your mouth, like a pie crust basically. And the tomato sauce is just like perfectly flavored, perfect bite of pepperoni. Oh, it's so good. Okay, I'm gonna do another one. I couldn't tell if I was supposed to eat it in one bite or not. This one I'm gonna do in one bite, obviously. Now we have to try the other ones. So I'm gonna do a pizza roll, formerly my favorite of the snacks. You have to be careful because they could be molten lava inside. These have been sitting out for a few minutes, so it was safe. There is just something so nice about that really crunchy exterior and then the gooey interior. When I was a kid, this is so gross. When I was a kid, whenever one exploded and there was a hole, I would suck the inside out of the hole. And then I just have like an empty shell and then I'd eat the shell. Okay, last one, the pizza bagel. It's a bagel, it's a pizza, it's mini. The sauce on this one is brighter. It's more tomato-y. The sauce in the Betty Crocker ones and the pizza rolls are pretty similar in flavor. This one's, there's no garlic or or oregano flavoring. It really is just pure tomato sauce. You know, the bagel is an interesting texture. Like, it very much feels like a frozen bagel. I mean, it's not bad. I'll eat it. It's time for my pizza snack power rankings. Obviously, the Betty Crocker one is more work because we made it from scratch. But I will say that it was such a fun bite of food, and it looks really cool. Like, when you look at the pizza bagel with these little like cubes of cheese and cubes of sausage and pepperoni, they just look so sad. Pizza rolls, I feel like the flavors are almost identical to what Betty's got going on, and it is like a fun little pocket, but it just kind of looks sad and greasy and blah, you know? Like, it's not appetizing because you're not seeing what's inside, whereas these just look so cute. They look like little mini pizzas. So obviously I have to give Betty Crocker number 1, pizza rolls number 2, and bagel bites number 3, but they're all delicious. I love them all. I love pizza bites. I love pizza snacks. Okay, Bambinos, we're obsessed. These tasted so good. I'm blown away. I was doubtful about the pastry crowns. The texture's incredible. I was doubtful about the tomato sauce. Turns out it's perfect. There's really nothing I would do differently. They were so easy to put together. If I was looking for a snack to have when people are coming over, don't think it pairs well with coffee. So confused as to why it's in the come for coffee section and not just like a different snack section. But I would definitely make these again as an appetizer for party guests because it's so cute and they taste so good and I could eat a million of them. So obviously I'm giving it 5 out of 5 red spoons. Okay, back in the box. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure you give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And until next time, happy homemaking.